What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be talking about the top 5 LEGO themes, in my opinion, that I think LEGO needs to bring back and make new sets for. Now before we get into the video, I do want to say that these are my thoughts and my opinions on what I think should be done. If you have any other opinions, be sure to leave them down in the comments. We probably won't agree, but that's fine. That's what the comments are for. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Space Police. Now, this came out back when I was really getting back into LEGO. Like I got into it as a kid, stopped for a little bit, and then I got back into it around like junior high. And this theme was like on the forefront. This was the theme they were pushing hard, and I thought it was so cool. And honestly, I didn't get as many sets from this theme as I honestly kind of wish I would have had. I look back on it and I really wish I would have picked up a few more of these. I picked up like a few small ones, and then I also picked up the Lunar Limo. Now I'm going to throw a picture up on the screen right now. This was a really cool set. It was basically like, this dude was a pimp. It was a pimp limo, and it was so cool. Had the purple pinstriping all over it. I thought it was so awesome. But I really think this theme needs to be brought back, because right now we don't really have a space theme. We kind of have Nexo Knights, and some people may consider that a space theme, but we also have Star Wars. But I really like seeing these completely original space themes. Like you had Classic Space, and this one I really think did that justice. There was so much creativity in it, and all the little aliens had their unique design. I remember getting the Squidman's Escape set one year for Christmas. It was like a little $5 set. You got like a little police scooter and Squidman. I thought he was the coolest figure ever, just because the head mold was completely new and he had that red cape. To this day, Squidman still stands as one of my favorite minifigures from a LEGO theme that's not licensed, I think. All the sets just had such a unique design. I thought it was really well balanced between police vehicles and also the bad guy vehicles. One thing that I do think would be cool if they ever brought it back was more locations. We only saw like 2 location sets. We saw police headquarters, and we also saw like a bad guy headquarters. I really think it'd be cool if they brought this back and maybe focused on some more locations, maybe some more buildings, because I really think there's a lot of untapped potential in this line, because the creativity is really endless. You can make as many aliens as you want, make as many police vehicles as you want. There's a lot of possibility with this line, and I really think it ended a little earlier than it should have. Harry Potter stands as one of the only book series I have honestly read all the way through and was captivated by. I also think the movies are total classics. Everyone loves Harry Potter. I really think it's a shame that LEGO had kind of this on and off relationship with the theme itself. The theme started off back in 2001 with Sorcerer's Stone. They made several sets for Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, and then it started going downhill at Goblet of Fire. I think we only got 3 or 4 sets for Goblet of Fire, and by the time Order of Phoenix came around, there was one Hogwarts castle and it was kind of done. And there for like a year, like I think 3 years, we didn't see any new Harry Potter sets. But with the release of The Deathly Hallows Part 1, we got this new revitalized line of Harry Potter sets that, in my opinion, are some of the best licensed sets made to date. If you look at this specific line of sets, I think there was 2 waves of sets, and in my opinion, I don't think any of those sets were particularly bad. I specifically remember tallying up all the prices for all the sets, adding it all up, and wondering how I'm going to be able to buy all these as someone who wasn't old enough to get a job yet. I ended up picking up just a few from that line, some of the cheaper ones. Never quite got any of the more expensive ones, but I think, like I said, they were just all so good, and it was so hard to choose which ones I really wanted from that line. Even the old line of sets, back when they still had the yellow figures and they weren't flesh tone yet, were still really good, and I think they did the movies justice. It was kind of before the era of LEGO where we started seeing sets being carried by the minifigures within them. Every set had something special about it, and I really like that. There's so much in the Harry Potter universe that can be made into sets that wasn't quite made into sets in the time that LEGO had with the theme. I am still hopeful, though, that it may come back one day, as we've seen a couple LEGO Dimensions packs based on Fantastic Beasts, along with, I think, 2 Harry Potter ones. So that means LEGO hasn't completely cut ties with Warner Brothers and the Harry Potter line as a whole. Let's have our fingers crossed that maybe with the release of more Fantastic Beasts movies that we get to see some of those Harry Potter sets and themes revived, and we see some awesome new sets from it. Now let's start by saying the Adventures theme was a little bit before my time. It was really early 2000s, and I wasn't quite into LEGO at that time. But by the time I was into LEGO, Adventures was on its way out. And they were starting to bring in more licensed themes. Star Wars was getting a little more heavy. And a couple years later, of course, Indiana Jones kind of took the cake for what Adventures was trying to do. However, I do think it would be really cool to see an Adventures line come back. There's a lot of possibilities that I think LEGO hasn't really explored in the past couple years. We're kind of seeing some of that kind of stuff come in with the LEGO City Jungle theme, which I don't know how I feel about that. Anyways, back to Adventures. I think it would be really, really cool, and it'd be a really cool marketing campaign if they took Johnny Thunder, you know, the main guy from Adventures, updated his figure, brought him into the current era of LEGO, and updated the whole kind of cast of characters from this theme into the current LEGO style. Of course, LEGO sets have changed a lot since the early 2000s. They're a lot more polished. There's a lot more to them now, and I really, really would like to see some of the potential that could happen with a non-licensed LEGO theme, such as Adventures, bringing in all sorts of new crazy places, vehicles, and creatures. You know, each year, or each wave, the Adventures would kind of go to a different place. You had an Asian expedition, you had the Egyptian stuff, you had the jungle stuff. It was all really cool, and it's kind of I kind of sucks that I missed out on a lot of that, because it goes for a lot of money now. I also really like the whole style of the theme. All the cars they drove were old school. All the planes were old school propeller planes. We don't really see that in LEGO anymore. A lot of it's real cool modern stuff, and if you ask me, I'm kind of getting tired of it. I want to see kind of a callback to this old school stuff. I think it'd be really cool. It'd be a nice change of pace for the current themes that are out, non-licensed by LEGO right now. I think Monster Fighters definitely takes the cake as my favorite non-licensed LEGO theme of all time. That's a big statement for me, and I just think all the sets from it had this really, really cool, spooky kind of feel to them. Another thing that I liked about it was a lot of the vehicles and just kind of architecture and whatnot kind of had a that kind of old school feel, like I said, with Adventures. And it was something really unique, and LEGO had never done anything like it. Of course, we saw a few kind of spooky-ish sets with studios way back, 10 years before this theme, but these really took that and made the idea so much, on such a grander scale. All the sets from this line actually looked pretty good. You had a few of the smaller ones and a few of the poly bags that people may argue weren't that great, but you got something special in every set. Every set focused on a different, classic horror movie monster that was really unique. What was kind of cool is every set held one of those little crystals in it, and I like how they kind of had this coherent story going through each set, and you'd get the big vampire castle, and they'd all come together and do whatever they were supposed to do. But I think it was just so cool that every set had a spooky theme to it. And like I said, it was just so unique. And it's just such a shame that we didn't get to see more from this. And quite possibly one of the coolest big direct-to-consumer sets in the last 10 years, I think, came from this line, was the Haunted House set. This whole set was just so detailed and so cool and so unique, and it was something LEGO hadn't quite ever done before. And for that reason, I really think Monster Fighters needs to come back and have another wave or two of sets. LEGO Studios is arguably one of the most unique things LEGO had ever done. When the first set came out back in the early 2000s, that starter set, it came with kind of a minimalistic LEGO set along with the camera and software that you put on your computer. Now, you may be saying, this doesn't really hold up nowadays, and I agree with you. Why I think LEGO Studios needs to come back is that technology itself has changed so much. Everybody has a smartphone. Kids have smartphones. Adults have smartphones. Everyone has some sort of smartphone or smart device. We know LEGO is no stranger to app development, and I really think LEGO Studios could come back if, LEGO put out an app, you could do your whole stop motion thing in there, and the app didn't cost anything, so that would really bring down the price of the starter set as a whole. Now, the original starter set was $180. That was there's been a little bit of inflation since 2000. That was a lot of money. And honestly, it still is. The standard of LEGO sets has changed a lot. I really think LEGO Studios could come back and they could really knock it out of the park if they went with this whole app approach. Now, hear me out on this. This is what I'm kind of thinking for a starter set. Now, the original starter set, like I said, came with a camera, so that jacked the price up. What I'm thinking is you get your starter set with your backdrop and all your props and everything and a few figures, but obviously the app isn't going to cost anything. I think it should come with some sort of tripod mount that connects to, you can put your iPhone, you can put your iPad, you can put your Galaxy phone, whatever you want in there, and that's the point of getting the starter set, is you've got that tripod. And I think it'd be really cool if you had that starter set, $50, $100 somewhere in there, and they really cranked out all sorts of backdrops, sets, and all of that for the LEGO Studios line. It was something really unique for the time, and I think technology has changed enough to the point where they could really do something amazing with this if they really committed to it and put out a ton of sets to go with it and gave all sorts of variety. Obviously, since 2000, LEGO has acquired a ton more licenses. Back then, I think they only had Star Wars when it started, and then they ended up making a few sets for studios based off of Jurassic Park 3 and the original Amazing Spider-Man. We know LEGO's had plenty of failed apps and games and whatnot, integrating all that with actual LEGO sets in the past, and I really think bringing LEGO Studios back would be a really smart business move for them. It'd also be great for us because we get a lot of cool new sets. Well, guys, that's going to wrap this list up. If you liked it, go ahead and drop a like down there. And if you want to see more content like this, I do LEGO leaks, reviews, and news. And I want to start doing more cool videos like this with some history and some opinions in it. So if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.